Welcome to FBB Forum. I'm a sponsor of the Triple O Dynasty this year, coming up on April 4th in the Phoenix area. So make sure you get tickets and or get the live stream, and I'll include information down below in the comments. I'm very pleased to welcome the amazing IFBB Women's Physique Pro, Michele Kwapis, to the podcast. Michele most recently competed at the Masters World Pro Show in Pittsburgh in 2025, where she placed second in her class in Masters 50 plus and really looked phenomenal there. She also competed at the Masters World in 2022 and 2024 and earned her pro card at the North Americans in 2020.
Yep.
Michele lives in Michigan and is the amazing muscle mama of three. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And stay tuned to find out more about this beautiful athlete and where she will compete next. So it's a pleasure having you here, Michele. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I was curious in terms of how you got started in bodybuilding. Did you have an athletic or sports background before you started training and competing?
Yeah, I was actually a dancer. So imagine a skinny ballerina all through like high school. And actually, I started dancing when I was two. And then I actually came to college as a dance major and a psychology major as well. But I danced all through college. And so I wasn't really into sports, but I did dance, which I think they are athletes as well, just in a different type of arena. And after I graduated, I really needed to fill that void of, not dancing anymore. So I really started teaching a lot of group fitness. So,
Oh,
gosh, I taught group fitness for almost 28 years before I retired from doing that. But
wow.
that was, you know, a lot of what I did before I started competing. It was kind of a natural evolution into training and weight training. I think it was just progressively I wanted to get more muscle and kind of go away from the cardio, especially after I was late to the game, so I didn't really even compete until I was in my 40s. So
Oh,
um
wow.
like after having three babies and knowing that muscle is so important as an older woman. And if anything today, I can inspire any woman to just start lifting weights is truly what I'd want them to do. Cardio is great. I get it. I love my cardio. I do it all the time. My coach always tells me to stay away from doing so much cardio because it just
Uh-huh.
is, one of those things. But you do love it. But that was kind of the progression after having kids, and I was still teaching group fitness. And then I just really started getting to the weight room and wanted to be strong and take up space and really learning about nutrition and fueling your body for performance and not being scared to eat and to just get strong.
Terrific. Yeah, that your story sounds similar to Sherry Priami, the
Oh,
bodybuilding competitor.
yeah.
She also started in her late 40s and has three kids as well.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think she also got her pro card at North Americans as well. So
Oh,
uh,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, y'all are really awesome. That's amazing. I was curious what type of group fitness classes did you teach? Like,
Well, when I first started, it was like crazy because back in the day, we would make all our own choreography, all our own music. I don't even know how I had time for that, like
yeah.
putting all that together. It was,
Um,
a lot of step aerobics, a lot of like boot camp type classes, like circuit training. And then I remember when we introduced spinning, like I started like Johnny G spinning was like, I don't know how many years ago that was, but that's when we started teaching that. So on the bike. So it was a lot of just doing our own thing. And then we kind of transitioned to some Les Mills classes, which was like body pump and um, body combat, sprint on the bike, RPM on the bike. Just a lot of different types of classes like that. So those were kind of like pre-choreographed classes where you get certified and they kind of give you the choreography, they give you the music, and then you teach that. So I was doing a lot of that.
that's awesome. That's so cool, though. I think that's great that you were doing that. I remember when Jane Fonda, was popular with her
Oh,
book, and then
I did those via
uh,
tape in my little cassettes when I was growing up in high school, I think it was. Put my little tape of Jane Fonda and Tammy Lee Webb. I think she did like Buns of Steel or something like that. So, yeah, that definitely ages me because I don't think most people know who Jane Fonda is or Tammy Lee Webb.
oh yeah, I was thinking too about the show on ESPN. I think it was Body Sculpting with
Gilad,
Keanu. Oh,
Gilad, the Gilad guy,
oh yeah, uh-huh,
the Hawaiian guy on the mats in
uh-huh.
Hawaii. Oh,
I
yeah,
remember him. Yeah.
I did that one too.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, I remember because I'm 52, so I remember
Oh,
when bodybuilding contests were on TV too. That's been a long time now.
okay. Yeah, so we grew up together. I'm 53, almost 54. So,
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Now I was curious in terms of actually competing in bodybuilding, who convinced you to do your first contest and what was your first contest?
that was really me wanting to just challenge myself and do something. My kids were at a good age, and so we had the local show here in Kalamazoo. And so it was a local show, and I was like, I think I can do this. So I convinced myself, I guess. And yeah, that was kind of where it started. I mean, I started in figure, so I think a lot of women who go to physique or bodybuilding kind of start in maybe figure, and kind of work their way up.
Yeah.
I really didn't have that X frame figure that they like for figure. Um, I did do the Kalamazoo, which, it's a local show, and I did place in overall, and I did well there, and then went and did another show to place for a national qualifier. So after that, then I just started competing at the Masters Nationals, and I started there and did Masters Nationals in figure. And I kind of was like middle of the pack, right? I think there was like 24 girls, and I think I was like 12th. And then I
Oh.
really kind of reassessed things. And I was like, after I started, I was like, I thought I was just going to do one show, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
But the competitor in me, I'm very competitive and I just like a challenge. And I think it was all, I think with bodybuilding, you have to love the training first and you have to love the process. And if you love the training and the process, it all kind of comes organically to you because you just want to every day just be 1% better, go into the gym and focus on your training at hand. And I knew like with figure, I didn't really have that shape. So I transitioned to women's physique. And then I did, gosh, I was fourth and then second, and then I won my pro card. So it took me a
Right.
little bit of time, but that was all at Masters Nationals and then North Americans in 2020. So it took me 2016 was my Kalamazoo show, and then in 2020 I got my pro card at North Americans.
It would as being a dance person, did you enjoy doing the posing routine for women's?
Love, love, love. Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I love that aspect. Being on stage, I think just from dancing, you learn to enjoy that and just to be able to, it's it's just a different feeling of bringing joy to people, in a
Yeah.
way that a lot of people never experience, and I really get, fulfillment out of being able to do that.
That's awesome. I think the dancers are the best posing people,
Ah,
yeah, that's true because it's and then you get to show some artistry and stuff up there.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Whereas figure is a little bit too rigid, you don't really get to show much
Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah. It's very rigid. And I mean, yeah, if you don't have those good lines, I mean, you can't really hide behind that.
Yeah. No, I think that was a good move for you to do
Thank
figure.
you.
Yeah. I was curious, do you have like a fitness role model or anybody you really look up to in bodybuilding currently?
Oh my goodness. Well, we got to talk about the legendary Linda Murray, right? I mean,
Yeah,
she's just amazing. And I think Andrea Shaw, I mean, all these are Michigan girls, right? And then I think
that's
about
true.
Nicole Wilkins. I mean, I think like back when I was doing figure, Nicole Wilkins was just my role model. And again, she's from Michigan and looking at her, how she's retired from competing, but it's just such a good role model for the sport. And now a mom and same thing with Linda Murray and everything that she does for the sport. I mean, I just think it's amazing. And they're also humble. And gosh, I think about women's physique. I think about Robin Mays. I mean,
Yeah,
I was able to meet her. Gosh, was that my first pro show? Um, I mean, that she's a grandmother, and she was at the Olympia this year, and I just watched her stories, and I was just like amazed by her. And, what is she, 58 or something, maybe something like that?
I
I
think
mean,
so. Yeah.
competing on the Olympia stage, and it just goes to show that age is just a number.
Yeah.
And I guess if anything today, too, like never think like you're too old.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's true. And Robin is amazing. I got to interview her a while back and
Oh, you did? Yeah. I bet she's
yeah.
so, I mean, when she was telling me she's a grandmother, and I think that's the thing too about being in the Masters and being backstage with all the women there. We're really not talking about bodybuilding. We're talking about like our grandkids, our kids, our, I don't know, our lives, you know what I mean? And just things that are so different away from bodybuilding that it makes us such a special event.
That's awesome. I think that's terrific. When you mentioned Linda too, I actually thought about this recently that this probably never happened again, but ESPN actually did a live telecast of the Ms. Olympia back in 1991, and she won that one. But yeah, I don't think ESPN's ever going to do live broadcasts of the Olympia again, unfortunately. But it was awesome. It was so cool, and somebody posted it recently. And I was like, wow, that brings back memories.
Yeah, and just to see those women who were like the breakthrough warriors for women competing, I mean, it took special people to like break down the walls and the barriers for women to compete in bodybuilding and things like that because, you know, it's there's a lot of stigma around it and you really just have to understand that it's a lifestyle for many of us and that it's something that we definitely love and that the women who were before our time were just amazing to like where women's competitions are now with the variety of classes that we have and the caliber of athletes. I mean, we owe it all to them.
I know, and I think back when it was on TV too, it inspired people to check out bodybuilding and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because otherwise might not have had that exposure to it. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
I'm gonna age myself because I used to always get the magazines, like the Muscle and
Yeah.
Fitness Hers magazines. That was like, I mean, I just had stacks and stacks of those magazines, and then just take the workouts out of them and like take them to
Oh,
the
cool.
gym. You know what I mean? Because that was back in
Yeah,
the day when we had magazines. Again,
yeah.
people don't remember what those were like, but you would have those amazing women in there doing their workout routines, and us women trying to emulate them and follow them.
I remember the magazines too, and my favorite was Women's Physique World because that was really dedicated to women's bodybuilding
Oh yeah,
back in
love
the day.
those.
That was a
Yeah,
great magazine.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I know we're old, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you can relate to that though, because magazines were amazing. Like I just had a whole stack of them, and I would just go to when I wanted a new workout, I could just go to the stack and find something or a recipe or I don't know, something inspirational. You could just go to the magazines. Well, now I
I
guess
know.
everyone just goes on social media, so a little bit different.
I know it's different. It's not the same, and
Yeah,
I know. It's nice just to be able to browse through a magazine like
it
that.
sure is.
Yeah. Now I was curious for your first bodybuilding show. Was it tough to get up on stage in a bikini for the first time? What was that like?
I would say just because of dance, I didn't really mind it too much. I just remember, my kids were a little bit younger, so I was like, do I bring them to the show? And my husband's like, yeah, I think they need to support you and see what it's like and stuff. And I mean, they weren't that young. I don't know, maybe Steven was, let's see, 2016. So I I just think that I was comfortable, I'm from dance and wearing those costumes and stuff like that. It
Sure.
wasn't it wasn't it wasn't too tough.
That's cool. Yeah, no, that's very cool. And it's good that your kids came to see you too and root for you.
Oh, they're my number one fans. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
supportive. Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome. So I was going to ask you a little bit about your competing, and I thought you looked great at the in the pictures for Masters World Pro last year,
Thank
and
you.
you almost, like I said, almost won that show with the second place finish with the
Thank you.
70 plus. But what was your experience like at that show? Did you enjoy it?
Oh my gosh. Well, shout out to Gary Udick because he always does amazing shows, right? I mean, I've competed in Pittsburgh so many times at Masters Nationals, North Americans, and then Masters World Pro, and always
Yeah,
the shows are amazing. The expediters, the judging, it's fantastic. So kudos to them. The venue is fantastic. Competitors, fantastic. I mean, it was a great, great show. I had a great experience. My coach was actually there in person live with me, so he could see me
oh,
minute by
cool.
minute. I was so thankful he could come with me and just come see me physically every 2 hours to see what I was looking like. And
Great.
yeah, prejudging was great. I got moved to the center and I stayed the center the entire comparison round. So I was feeling really good after prejudging. And my coach came back to me after prejudge and he's like, oh man, he goes, Michelle, he goes, I was a little nervous when people were coming out individually. Because you know it's different when people come out individually before
Yeah,
you see everybody lined up.
yeah, yeah.
Just because I feel like I probably don't have a size that a lot of other women do. And
Sure.
he was like, your conditioning was spot on. So I think sometimes, having that conditioning right on, kind of just draws your eye to someone who's really well conditioned. So
True.
he's like,
Yeah.
Michelle, he's like, you look fantastic. He's like, I think you got this. We went to finals. And of course, I knew I was in the top five because we got to do our routines. And then when they announced second place and they said my name, of course, I mean, Maria, who won first, I was so excited for her. I mean, she looked fantastic too. I mean, I think this was her first pro show, I think, but she looked great, and all the women up there looked amazing. So to place second, I was excited. I did get feedback from the judges, so they said, we loved your look, your conditioning, you're well balanced, your presentation, all of that good stuff. They just really wanted a little bit more bubblier. He said bubblier muscles. So I know that means
Great.
more size.
Okay.
Probably, and maybe next time with me and my coach, just kind of tweaking things, maybe not, maybe just coming in just as conditioned, but trying to keep a little more pop to my muscles. So I'm on the
Sure.
taller side too. So I feel like I'm tall compared to many of those girls. I'm 5'7".
Oh,
So
wow. You are pretty tall compared. Yeah, definitely compared to other girls. Yeah.
yeah, so it looks a little different, right? I mean, on a
Yeah.
taller girl. So, yeah, thank God I don't have to wear those shoes anymore because I was really tall when I had to wear the shoes and
Oh,
figure,
I
right? So,
bet. Yeah.
yeah, now that I don't have those shoes anymore, I'm 5'7". So, yeah, I feel a little bit taller. So, I think, that comes into play a little bit more. But I think this year, just really focusing on um, building some more size, of course, like we all want to do. And
Yeah.
it gets challenging at our age, to put
Sure.
on more muscle. And I think just finding that balance, right? With women's physique, for me, I feel like I want to stay true to myself, which means I want to have muscle, but I want to be feminine. I want
Yeah.
to represent women's physique in a way that brings not only grace and elegance to the stage, but muscle as well, but in a well-balanced way.
That's awesome. Who was your coach? Who are you working with?
My coach, love him. His name is Mohammed Al Faraj. He owns a gym here in Kalamazoo called House of Champions. We
Uh-huh.
actually started working together in 2024. So he helped me with my last show, 2024, where I placed seventh, it was. So really, you know, we did so much in a year. I think having that full year together between shows, like I think he broke down some of my limitations where it was like not eating enough food. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
coming from the background I had, like in dance, I mean, I tell you, in college, I used to drink a Diet Coke and an apple every single day because you're a dancer, you're a ballerina, you have to be skinny. And that's what,
Yeah.
and
Understand.
growing up in our era, it was all about skinny. And so
Yeah.
I think, just really Mohammed was like, Michelle, you can do this, and gave me the confidence to eat more food, train harder, build more muscle. So we went from like a seventh in 2024 to that second place in 2025. So I give
Congrats. That's
him, he's
awesome.
he's a fantastic coach. He prioritizes health, which is number one, which I love about him. I mean, um, yeah, it's all about health and longevity in the sport. I mean, he's always like, Michelle, the stage is always going to be there. You are the number one most important person, and I want you to be healthy. You have kids, this is just a hobby for me. It is just a hobby. So, he really takes that into consideration, but he does push me in a way that, um, it's like tough love, you know? He never really tells
Yeah.
me I look good. He's kind of that type of coach where he just wants to, every once in a while, he'll be like, yep, looking good, but he
Yeah.
doesn't, he just wants you to keep going.
That's terrific. Sounds like a great coach. And it's great that he was able to see you at the show too and be able
Oh
to.
yeah, so thankful. And then because I train at his gym, he has it's more of a bodybuilding type of gym that he owns, and I'm able to see him there all the time too, so he can see me, help me
That's
tweak
terrific.
training and things like that, and kind of sees me on a day-to-day basis. So,
I think there's an advantage to that versus doing like online,
uh
coaching. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he can see me and then we can pose together. He has a posing room.
Oh,
Just keep
good.
working on posing all year long, not something you just wait 4 weeks out, it's something you do
Yeah. That's
throughout the
great.
process as your body's changing and really tweaking things. And he's been fantastic in all of that.
That's terrific. That's great. I'm glad for you.
Thanks.
Now I saw that you earned your pro card at the 2020 North Americans,
Oh, yeah.
uh, and what was your experience like there? And what was that the year of COVID where they had it in the tent?
Oh my gosh.
It
It
was so
is like
weird.
it is like a flash before my eyes that whole day because I just remember it was so hot and humid and you had to get on a bus to go over to the tent. They put us on the bus like during whenever they called your class. We get on this bus and it's hot and sweaty, and then you get into this tent. And I just remember like we get to the tent and they're like lining us up already. I'm like, oh my God, like we just and I'm just sweating off my tan. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And we
Oh no.
go, we go in the tent and they line us up. And I remember we do pre-judging, we do finals, and my husband's with me and he's in the hotel because they are not allowed to come. And I'm thinking he's watching the live stream, but something happened with the live stream. So he didn't even get to watch.
Oh
And
no.
I know. And so I just remember going back on the bus and then winning my pro card, which was pretty much like, okay, great, go off stage. You know what I mean? You're done. And then
Yeah.
going back on the bus and like, he's like, what happened? He goes, I didn't even get to see you. And I was like,
Oh.
so, but now I think, pro cards, it's kind of like a lot of people can earn a pro card now. And I think once you earn that pro card and you get into this ranking, this is where you differentiate, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it,
definitely.
it
Yeah,
is an opportunity because honestly, Dave, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to compete at the pro level. I didn't think I had it. Like, I didn't think I had the potential. You know what I mean? I doubted myself. Like I'm like, and then
sure.
after I thought about it, I'm like, I gotta at least try. You know what I mean? And see
Yeah.
where what I can do in the masters, women's physique. And so yeah, so I took 2021 off and then 2022 I competed at the Masters World. I think I got seventh. Like I was middle of the pack there in
Okay.
2022. Took 2023 off because of my mom, she was sick with cancer. And then 2024 is when I competed at Masters World, middle of the pack again, and then
Yeah.
2025 second.
No, so you're making progress. You're doing well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of exciting to see that you're continuing to progress in a stage later in life, I would say. So, yeah,
I think that's great. No, that's
thank you.
really cool. Yeah. And some people, get their pro card and then they don't really compete again. So I think it's great
Yeah.
that you've stuck with it and still competing too. And you look great too. I like the pictures of you from NPC News Online.
Thank you so much. I think if you love the training and you can enjoy the process and you like the challenge, you can stay in this for a long time and you take care of your health, right? I mean, and
Yeah,
you have supportive, loving people around you and an amazing coach. I mean, it makes it so much fun and it's so exciting. Every day I just wake up and be like, okay, I hope I can get 1% better today. That's the goal.
that's awesome. No, I think that's great. And we talked a little bit about where you plan on competing this year. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds exciting though.
Yeah, so I think we're going to do the Chicago Masters. It's in July. So we'll probably start prep, gosh, 20 weeks. We'll probably come up about March or something to start getting ready for that. And then go back to Masters World Pro end of August. So I think that's the plan right now. I mean, it's all can change, but yeah, I think just enjoying the process and seeing what we can do this year. I'm excited.
That's terrific. And Chicago's a good show. I've been there once and it was really a great show.
Yeah, yeah. And I've never done that show. And I mean, I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is like 2.5, 3 hours from Chicago. So
Oh,
makes it
yeah,
easy. Yeah.
that's true. That's really close for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I was curious in terms of what do you think is like your best muscle group and what do you think needs the most improvement?
That's funny. I when I read that question, I was like, I actually had to ask my coach because I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I don't know, you know how you see yourself like differently than other people see you. And he's like,
Yeah.
so my shoulders and my triceps are what he said are most my strength. And then some things that we're working on are my lats and my glutes. So those are kind of the
Oh,
things like he thinks we need to bring up. But
sure.
I don't think your shoulders can ever be big enough. And I think I've done so many side lateral raises that my arms are ready to fall off, but I will keep doing them because I totally believe in them. And yeah, so I think shoulders and triceps, that's probably my strength, especially in those side, like the poses that women do for women's physique, the side try and the chest pose. I mean, I think those are good poses on me that I like.
Yeah, no, you do look good in those poses for sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's awesome. Very cool. Um, and in terms of we talked about Muhammad, but do you have a posing coach as well, or do you coach
It's
yourself?
Mohammed. Mohammed is my posing coach as well. I mean,
Oh, cool.
a couple of years, well, in 2022, I worked with Ashley Jones, and
Oh, yeah, she's
she's
awesome.
another one that I would put up there and someone who I look up to because I had the opportunity to work with her for posing, and she is she's just a blessing in the sport as well. I mean, she's so humble, she's so sweet, she's so nice, she's always wanting to help. And yeah,
Yeah,
she helped me with my posing in 2022. And then Mohammed is just kind of helped me with my posing and he's good. He's got a good eye for all of that. So
awesome. Wow. Yeah, Ashley is amazing. I got to meet her a few times. She's the sweetest woman. She's so
oh
amazing.
yeah, it's such a tiny little thing, isn't she?
And she's so amazing too. I do think she's going to be a future Ms. Olympia because she's,
Oh, hands down. We could bet right now. Bet right now. She's gonna win it someday.
I do think she is. She's just
Yeah.
phenomenal. And
She
she's,
has an amazing story. Just, like watching her and grow in the sport and just not only
mhm.
grow in the sport, but just grow mentally and, just develop a sense of who she is and, stick to true to herself. And yeah, just gotta love her.
That's awesome. Yeah. Does Mohammed help you with like your posing routine too? Because as a dance person, I bet, or do you come up with your own
I did
music?
that myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, I did that myself. He helps me with all my mandatories and all of that, but posing
Yeah.
routine, he lets me do. So
I always find that interesting and like especially the song, because I'm a big music person, but what song do you pick that fits you the best?
yeah, last year I did Pink Just Like Fire. Love that song,
Oh,
but
good.
I haven't even started thinking about this year. So if you have a good suggestion, you might send it my way then. If you think
Okay,
of any
yeah.
good songs, I'd appreciate that because yeah,
Yeah.
I think picking out music is hard.
No, I have a lot of I like music. I like all kinds of genres and stuff. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll send you a few suggestions for
I love that idea. Thank you.
sure. Now I was curious, what would you consider the kind of the most challenging aspect of prep for you?
Um, I think just staying in the moment and not getting ahead of yourself and feeling that anxiety of like you wanting to be somewhere you're not yet. Like you just have to appreciate every day and trust the process. And I think the longer you do this, the longer you realize, I know I'll get there. It doesn't have to be sooner. Just stay on the timeline, trust in your coach. And I think that's the challenge is just staying in the moment, being present, enjoying the day, enjoying the little things. I think people think when you're in prep, like you can't do anything,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, my anniversary is always July 13th. It's the middle of summer. I'm going to go celebrate it with my husband. We've been married for
Yeah.
24 years. I'm not going to, oh, I'm in prep. I can't do anything with you. I feel like eh, we we can still be able to enjoy life and be with the people we love and do the things we love and still stay true to the plan. You just do the plan. You just have to plan ahead a little bit more.
Yeah.
Of course,
And
if you have something scheduled for the weekend, something fun that's kind of out of bodybuilders, we love routine. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I love my routine. And when I was in the old Michelle, if she was thrown out of her routine, would get all anxious and stuff like that. Not anymore.
okay.
Bodybuilding is it's just a hobby. It's something I do for fun. I
Yeah,
don't need to stress myself out about it anymore. And I can still
sure.
enjoy life because life is too short, as you know, and
Uh-huh.
anything can happen. And you just need to enjoy the time you have here and just live every day. So I would say the challenge is just, like I said, just living every single day and just staying in the moment and not trying to rush things.
I like that. That's great. In terms of, you know, going out and doing fun stuff, just need to bring your own food sometimes,
Exactly right. That's
so.
all. I mean, honestly, it's just easy. You just bring your own food and you just do what you want to do. It's just bring your own food. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And people, at first, like you think people are gonna say stuff, and sometimes they do, but you know what? After a while, you're just like, it's my goal, so I'm just gonna eat my own food and it's fine.
Oh no, I think that's good. Yeah, and no, and that's a good message too. I think in terms of how to handle that situation too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, you definitely got to you still got to do live your life, be do fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I think bodybuilding, it is a serious sport and I love it. And I feel like there has to be something life outside of bodybuilding. I think when people are so into bodybuilding so much that it kind of takes away from your physique, right? Because you're so stressed about it. I think
Yeah,
sometimes we need that break, that release of cortisol, right? To be able to enjoy life a little bit and not feel like we always have to be, pushing the pedal to the floor all the time. So I think when you learn that balance, you can appreciate the small things in life and take some breaks, and your physique actually will improve and you'll look better when you take those rest days because you need them.
I agree. No, that's a good message. I think that yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah. Um, in terms of seeking a good coach, I was curious what advice would you give to ladies who are looking for a good coach?
Oh my gosh. Number one, you need to be coachable, right? I mean, if you're going in it with like, you're kind of set in your ways,
Yeah,
that's not going to
not good.
work. I mean,
Mhm.
I think when you have a great coach who understands your goals, but number one, like I told you about Muhammad, always prioritizing health is number one. You know what I mean? Like never jeopardizing that. That is like your number one thing. Someone who prioritizes health, someone who really listens to you, um, someone who you just knows they got your back, someone who like if you needed to talk to them about something, they would be there for you. And sometimes the things that you're experiencing during your prep or whatever can be stressful on you. And it might not have to do with training or food or nutrition. It has to do with your job or kids or something like that. But being able to know that they're a person too and you can talk to them. And I think that's just feeling that connection of um, client athlete, right? I mean, that they want the best for you. And when you
Mhm.
find that, I mean, it's amazing because your physique will start to change. And that's what Muhammad did for me.
That's terrific. I like that. And like we talked about, would you say having an in-person coach is probably better? I would think.
Oh, honestly, I've done both in having an in-person coach. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that so much. I mean,
Yeah.
so much. And especially like going into peak week, like he would be like, okay, eat this meal. And then I'd come see him. You know what I mean? Physically, I don't have to take pictures trying to like, manipulate the light or time of day or whatever it is. Or, it's just, I would just go see him and he could see what my physique was changing and looking like. So I think it is definitely, um, you know, an advantage, but also to just getting that one-on-one time with your coach. So he understands if he sees me training, he knows my intensity level when I train. He knows I'm not a slacker. He's always like, I see you train. I know what you're doing. So it's not like ever
Mhm.
questioning that. I mean, he knows that those things help too. So I think it's just helps build that trust in that relationship so much.
That's terrific. I think that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in terms of
Yeah.
Kalamazoo. Is there a pretty good bodybuilding community there? I know it's kind of a kind of medium-sized city, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say bodybuilding wise, it's not that big of a community. I mean, there's some of us here. Natalie Wolf, I don't know if she's a women's physique competitor.
Oh yeah, Natalie. Yeah, she's
She
amazing.
lives like 40 minutes west of me. So
Okay.
she's here in Kalamazoo too. So she owns her own gym, which is awesome. Her and her husband. So they're there. And then yeah, I mean it's a smaller community for sure. But I think having House of Champions as more of a bodybuilding style gym um, has really been awesome to have here in our community because he opened that 2 years ago. So before that, it was more of just commercial gyms that we had where bodybuilders were mm, we weren't really thought of as they just really didn't like us too much. So it's nice to have
Yeah.
a home. It's nice to have a home for sure.
What is it? The Planet Fitness, that lunk alert thing that they do?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was kind of dumb. Like,
Right, right. I've never been to one, so I don't know, but
yeah, I didn't like that. I thought it was just like, yeah, well, why discourage,
yeah,
the best, physique people, just crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Um, no, that's cool. Do you get to Detroit to train at all? Because I just thinking with all the Andrea, that's where Andrea is, I think, right?
Yes, I know, I know. Gosh, I'd love to train with her. No, she actually came and she was guest poser at the Kalamazoo show a couple of years
Oh,
ago, was it? Yeah, Natalie Wolf, she was a guest poser at the Kalamazoo show too before. So,
oh, nice.
yeah. So I guess, now that you mentioned that, I probably should be a little bit more motivated and go train with Natalie or go train with Andrea or something like that because they
Yeah,
are right here in my neighborhood.
yeah. Natalie's amazing. I really like her a lot, and
Oh gosh, yeah.
I hope that I don't know if she's trained or competing again this year or not.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Um, Now in terms of kind of the mental aspect of bodybuilding, and I don't think people really realize how tough it can be, but do you ever deal with like mental health struggles while you're getting ready for a show?
Oh yeah, I think I've done a lot of personal work on developing myself. I think
Hmm.
I told you in like when I first started this sport, I had a lot of self-doubt, especially after I got my pro card and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I was good enough. I always felt like I don't really know if I'm good enough to do this and my confidence. And I think, having people like my husband and my kids and my coach who support me and doing it for the right reasons. When bodybuilding is something you love because it's part of who you are and you, like I said before, enjoy the process so much that the mental health aspect becomes so much easier. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, most bodybuilders, we're competitive, we're hard on ourselves. We're always the ones that, you know, it should have been better. I'll like leave a training session and I'll be like, or laying in bed at night and be like, oh, I should have done this. I should have trained harder. You know what I mean? And I think just
Hmm.
giving yourself some grace and being like, hey, I did the best I could today, and
Hmm.
realizing that tomorrow's another day. And for bodybuilding, I think it's consistency over the long term, right? I mean, it's not
Hmm.
one training session that's going to make or break you. It's the number of training sessions you put together in the 365 days you have this year and how they're going to accumulate over time to change your physique and really just focusing on what you can control, which I mean, there's a lot of things we can't control in this
Hmm.
sport, but you
Yeah.
can control your training, you can control your nutrition, you can control the people who you surround yourself with,
Hmm.
you can control social media, all that kind of stuff, you know. So once you realize like the stuff you have control of and keep that, I think it just brings you so much peace knowing that this sport is so rewarding when you realize how much it gives back to you as a person. Makes me a better wife. It makes me a better mother. It makes me a better employee. It makes me a better friend. I mean, it does. It's 360, right? So what you put into the sport, you get back out of it.
Hmm. I like that. That's good advice. That's definitely good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Now, do you have a full-time job outside of bodybuilding now?
I do have a full-time job. Yes. So, like I said, this is just a hobby. So, I work for a pharmaceutical company. I'm in sales. So, I've been doing that for 25 years this year in March. It'll be 25 years.
Oh, wow.
So, I live out of my car. I eat a lot of cold meals, packed in my car.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's a great job. I love sales. I love being in front of people, talking to them, helping them. Um, but I've done that full time for 25 years. So it's a lot of
Wow.
early mornings. A lot of times I do two a days. I get up in the morning, do my cardio, stretching, sauna, whatever in the morning before I go to work, get ready for work, and then go to work and then be able to train in the afternoon.
Oh, that's very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, one of the just one funny aside, I one of the weirdest things I saw at my doctor's office was it was like a soap dispenser, but it was like a nose, and you like pushed on the nose, and the soap would come out the nostrils, and it was like from a pharmaceutical
Oh,
salesman.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they put it up inside, inside the patient or the waiting or not the waiting
Oh,
room,
that's funny.
patient room
Yeah.
there. Just I just thought that was funny. They come up with some pretty creative stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, they definitely do. My company is not so like that, but we're a little more conservative. But
Uh,
yeah, it's a good job. Like I said, I mean, having three kids and supporting them and putting them through college and yeah, it's I think too when if I was a full-time bodybuilder, I can't even imagine doing that. Like I said, you have to have life outside of bodybuilding, and I think especially like when
yeah,
you're in prep too, I mean, you just have to manage your time so well that it teaches you just to be so planned out that you can't mess up, right? I mean, if you have, to
yeah,
travel for work, you just pack your meals and do all that. Like I have a couple of times where I have to travel for work for 4 days and, you just pack your meals and do it. And you learn that it can be done.
that's terrific. No, I think that's great. No, and in terms of do you still do the personal training and
I
nutrition coach too?
I do. I have some personal training clients. I do that early mornings on
Okay.
Friday. So I like to get that done before I go to work on Friday mornings. So, and then nutrition coaching is always, I think, I probably love that the most, especially with women, because I think nutrition is the key, right? I mean, I think it's something that as a woman, we were taught not to eat, eat less. And it's just teaching them to feel their bodies and to understand that you need fuel to build muscle. And I wanted to be such a good role model for my girls growing up, to teach them to eat. And I'm so happy that they're so comfortable in their own skin and their muscles and their body and stuff like that, just through nutrition coaching and things like that. So yeah, I really enjoy doing that.
Do your kids eat some of the stuff that you eat too, or do they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they learn how to prep all their meals. And, my son has just moved to Colorado Springs and he just graduated and has his first job. But I'll call him on Sunday and he's got his crock pot going, his rice cooker going. He's got all his meals planned out. Same with my girls. Well, they live in the dorm still, but they have a little skillet where they can make their eggs and their ground beef and things like that. So
Nice.
they're pretty amazing, yeah, for food. I don't think they ever eat fast food just because we never really did that growing up. And I
Oh,
don't,
nice.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fast food's not very good for you. It's kind of, yeah.
Nope, nope.
I'm very good about that. I'd avoid that stuff. It's not, I know
Yeah,
it's not good. Yeah.
yeah. It's not even good. Yeah.
No, it doesn't even taste good.
No,
It's
I rather make my own food. My kids would too. They rather like when we have like a birthday celebration or something like that. They're like, no, we want mom to make our homemade food. Like they want homemade food from mom for birthday celebrations. They don't want to go out.
Oh, really? That's really cool. That's awesome. Did they are they any of them pursuing bodybuilding too, do you think? Or
Oh my goodness. Let's see. When my kids were little, I didn't really want to do daycare. So when I was teaching group fitness, I would bring them along with me and I'd make them sit and watch. So they were exposed to the gym at a very young age. And so I would tell them that after I was done teaching, I'd make like a circuit for them, like a little, like boot camp circuit thing so they could do. But my kids started going to the gym at quite a young age. My girls actually were competitive gymnasts to a high level
really?
all the
Wow.
way through high school. They stopped when they went to college, but amazing gymnast. And my son, same thing. He was an amazing athlete, was recruited D1 baseball. He is amazing. Um,
Nice.
and they got an early glimpse of training and what it feels like to work out and be strong. And my girls to this day get up in the morning and go to the gym at like 5:30 every morning before school.
Wow.
My Sarah is a junior in college, and my Sophia is a sophomore in college. Um, Sophia wants to be a physical therapist, and she's in neuroscience, so she's very much into the brain and mental. Actually, because she was a gymnast, loves like the mental aspect of coaching and things like that. Just how your brain is like the most important muscle you can train. I mean, she's really into that. My girls still train. And so my son, same thing, goes to the gym every day, sends me training videos, and I love it. So I don't know if they'll ever pursue bodybuilding. And if they do, it'd probably be probably much later in life, like I did, just because they're working on, their lives right now. And if it happens, it happens. But they have really good skills of taking care of their own health and things like that. So,
That's great. Yeah, you were a good role model for him, I'm
ah,
sure. Yeah.
thank you. I tried. I mean, I'm blessed. I mean, I have really good kids, but I think that's like, one of the hardest jobs is just being a good mom and being a good role model. So when they get to this age, they do all the right things.
I just think being a mom and juggling bodybuilding would be tough too. And working full time. That's a lot.
It is. I have a very supportive husband though who, helps me and understands. And, I will definitely say that, I mean, he's not a competitor and he's not a bodybuilder, but to be with someone who is, I mean, it takes a special person to understand, you know, the things that we need and go through and the support.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because they don't understand it. You're like, how can you eat that same thing every day for
Yeah.
every day, and it's like this is what I want to do, you know what I mean? It's like so
Yeah.
I definitely takes a special person to support you, and he's been at all my shows, and my kids come to my shows if they can too. Oh my gosh, I remember when I won my pro card. Was it when I won my, no, it was must have been my last show. Anyway, my son was on a trip with his kids from school. He went to Notre Dame, and they went to a Notre Dame Texas A&M game, and they were in the airport in Texas, and he had on the screen the live stream of my show.
Oh, really?
And he
Oh,
goes, Mom, he's like, all of my friends, like 20 of these guys are like, that's your mom. Like, and I was like, he's
that's
like, yeah.
awesome.
He's like, the whole airport was watching my mom compete in this bodybuilding show. And he was like so proud. He's like, yes, this is my mom. So yeah,
Oh, that's sweet.
he was supporting me, even though he wasn't with me live.
That's really cool, though. I love that. That's really sweet too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's really nice. Um, that's um, and that's cool that he played baseball too, college baseball, and yeah, he was playing for Notre Dame, you said?
Yep.
Oh, really? Wow, that's great. Notre Dame is top for sports for sure. Yeah. Um, I just have a few more questions for you. I
Yeah.
don't want to keep you too long. Plus, I booked myself a lot of interviews today too.
Okay.
I was curious, do you ever find it hard to keep up with demands of social media? Because, like we're in our 50s, and it's hard to keep up with social media. And I have to ask my daughter all the time how to do things.
Yeah, exactly right. I think social media, because we didn't grow up with it, and I think social media is whatever you want it to be, right? I mean, I'm an older athlete. I'm an older competitor. I don't need it to make money. I don't want it to be famous. I honestly, I use it because like full heartedly, I just want to inspire other women, other people. If I can
Mhm.
do that through my social media in my posts that I do, then that's all I want, you know, or someone to be like, because of you. And I can't tell you how many times I feel so good when I walk into the gym and they're like, oh my gosh, we saw that post today, Michelle, and it motivated me to whatever. And I was like,
Oh, nice.
thank you so much, you know, or when you just get a comment from, you know, one of your posts and be like, thank you, or, you know, we see you, or whatever, you know, I think it's just that social media to me is a platform for me to be me, true to me, and then to hopefully inspire people along the way. And then for me to look back as I get older to be like, okay, that was me. So like I can keep doing this for a long time, right? I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
the goal is to be able to keep going.
Show future grandchildren, like
Yes.
this is grandma,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. No, that's great. Very cool. Now, I was curious, do you ever deal with like the nasty people, the like nasty trolls or, overbearing fans can be a pain in the butt too. But do you ever deal
Um,
with that with social media?
You know, I kind of probably I probably had like the hard way of learning that I feel like I'm a really nice person and I always wanted to be nice to people. And I think when you're nice to people, sometimes they can take advantage of that. And I probably was like, oh my gosh, I'm just being nice and people take advantage of that. And
Yeah, yeah,
um I guess now like I just don't respond anymore. You know what I mean? Just because you don't know their intentions and it's
yeah,
not worth my time. I want people to support me and I appreciate that so much. I truly do. It's just that, you know, I don't have time to comment and be on social media that much. So I don't really, you know, pay too much attention to it. So
sure. I got you. No, that's good. And you can always block those people too. That's the nice
exactly right. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes they definitely need to be blocked, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Um, I was curious, what do you think is like kind of the most misunderstood aspect or the kind of biggest myth about bodybuilding by the general public, and how do you respond to that?
Um, Good question. I think there's two things. One, I think is just the amount of time it takes to build a physique. I think
Yeah,
now in this day and age, like everyone wants everything right now. You know, I mean, we lived in this fast-paced culture of, you know, everything can be Amazoned and everything you want is like right here, right now. And this is a sport that unless you genetically blessed, right? I mean, it's going to take so much time and patience and consistency over time. And I don't think people really realize it's a 24/7 job. You know what I mean? It's not something like you just go to the gym for an hour and train and eat your meals. And it's not that. It's, you know, all the little things, your recovery, your sleep, you know, your stress management. I mean, there's so many little variable things that come into play that I think people don't really think about when they're thinking about the sport. So
yeah,
I would just say number one is just like the time and to be patient. And I think people think, oh, everyone who does bodybuilding is just on drugs. And, you know, that's not the case. I mean, and I think the other thing too is that people just think bodybuilders are just selfish, narcissistic people who, you know, all they care about is their physical appearance. Honestly, it's my inward appearance. I want people to know about me is, you know,
yeah,
I want to be pretty on the inside more than I want to be on the outside. And I think bodybuilding has made me that. So I think, like I said, I think people just assume because you're in a physique sport that you put so much, um, so much like relevance on your looks and things like that where it's really not about that, you know. I mean,
yeah. I
for
understand.
for me it's not about it's about the training. Like if you took that away from me, I would be so miserable. Like I mean, I think
Uh-huh.
there's something about bodybuilders. We are just meant to, we're just built different.
Yeah,
There's something, I mean, it's just like if you know, take 2 days off, you're just like, okay, I need to go train. Like there's just that mental aspect of like how much of therapy it is too for people,
hmm, yeah, I
and
understand.
in a good way, you know. So I would just say that for people who judge us by, you know, like a book, like its cover, just to think about the shoes we walk in and think maybe twice before you make a comment or say something.
Yeah, I like that. No, I think that's a good message. And I do think one thing I've discovered is bodybuilders are some of the nicest people. Most of them are. They're just really, really
Yeah.
good people, and they're yeah, like you said, the kind of look at them from the inside, and not just the outward appearance.
Yeah, yeah. And we're always wanting to help. I want people to come and ask me a question about training or nutrition or whatever. And I think people sometimes, don't feel like we're approachable, but we are so approachable. When someone would ask me, even like younger competitors I see like that don't come up to me and ask me like, hey, if you were this age, because I mean, I didn't start competing until I was older, but I see these younger, especially women competing, in their 20s and things like that. And oh my gosh, there's so much good advice I would want to give them, if
Mhm.
they'd ask me just if they were interested and, just what the sport is like especially as you get into the higher levels of the sport and what it takes mentally and physically, especially
Yeah.
as a woman.
No, I totally understand that. Yeah, yeah, I think you come at a different perspective when you start later in life too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%, 100%.
yeah. Well, thank you. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um, I was just wondering if there's anything I missed you'd like to address or anybody you'd like to shout out.
Gosh, shout out to you guys for having me. Thank you so much. And like I said, I just am here to inspire and if anything, just especially for women to train and lift weights and to know it's never too late to set a goal for yourself. And it's not selfish if you're a mom to take care of yourself. I mean, honestly, I think that's just an excuse women give themselves. Oh, I'm a mom. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you
Yeah.
can. And you need to. So, um, for me, like I said, I just appreciate all of you guys and the bodybuilding community that we have, and the support that women do get now for women bodybuilding and my husband, my kids, and my family, and my amazing coach. I think if anyone is looking for a coach, he's top notch.
Does he do online coaching too?
He does.
Oh, he
Yes.
does. Oh, very cool.
Yes. Yes. The poor man, he's Middle Eastern. So like their time zones are flipped around. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
like a
yeah.
lot of times, like he's up all night coaching clients overseas
Oh, wow.
because
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, oh, you look tired this morning. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I had someone competing in whatever country. And so time
Oh,
zones are messed up. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like what you said about inspiring women too, and that you again the Sherry Piami analogy because she said a similar thing when I talked to her too. So, but and like I said, she's a mom of three kids. So I just
Awesome.
yeah, I think that's great that y'all want to inspire the women to work out, and later in life. I think that's really cool. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
because a lot of women in their 50s, are are having all kinds of health issues and stuff because they don't take care of themselves and
Oh
um,
my gosh, muscle is medicine, movement is medicine. So you got to move and you got to build some muscle and you will feel like a new woman. I mean, not to get too much into like being a woman and what it's like to go through menopause and everything, but like for me, like because I was so physically fit, like I didn't have to deal with a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? You just
yeah,
don't because you're so healthy and you're so good and you have muscle and you're not dealing with a lot of things like I can't really relate to what other women are dealing with because I took care of myself and I want every woman to honestly feel like I feel like every single day. Like I feel like 22. Like I want them to feel like that too and knowing that
yeah,
number one it does take work, but once you commit to it, you don't want to live your life any other way. So you're in
yeah.
it and once you're in it, you're in it. So
I like that. That's awesome. No, that's very cool. I was curious, do you have any sponsors? Are you interested in getting sponsors?
I do not have any sponsors. No, I just me.
Okay, cool. But if anybody reached out to you, you wouldn't
Oh
miss.
my gosh, yeah, of course. I'm always open. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. It's really a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much for your time. And this was a great interview. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you so much. It was very much my pleasure.
And would you mind doing the double bicep shot for
Oh,
me?
the double bicep flex before we leave.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
That
you.
stuff's looking good.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, getting there. All
Thank
right.
you. And
Thank you.
wishes to you for your shows too for Chicago and Masters Worlds. I'll definitely be checking you out and seeing how you do on the live stream.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.